everybody. Welcome to the February 2020 video podcast for BrownieKnits. I'm Gina, also known as BrownieKnits. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook page, and in Ravelry as BrownieKnits. And you'll also find loads of pictures of my little Cavachon. This is Lorelei. Yeah. She is not a morning doggy, so she's very much wanting to sleep right now. Her day usually starts around 3 in the afternoon, so she's usually a snuggle bug all day long. And then I always joke that she likes to snuggle with me until 5 p.m. and then she likes to snuggle with Patrick. So she divides up her day. But hey, you know, she's a great little companion while you're sitting and knitting and reading and all of that. So, all right, I'll let her go back to sleep. She's like, quit bugging me, Mom. So, yeah, I thought I'd just pop in here, drop a really fast little episode. I wanted to show you guys the March cloth for the Gilmore Girls inspired cloth knit along that we're doing throughout 2020 in the BrownieKnits group in Ravelry. Every month on the first of the month in 2020, I'll release a free pattern that I've designed that is in some way, shape, or form just inspired by Gilmore Girls. And the January cloth is called I Smell Snow Cloth, and the title for the February cloth is Rory's Cable Hat Cloth. So if you're just joining us and you want to start knitting them, you can go and download those patterns for free from Ravelry and get started. Everything, all of the cloths for all the free patterns for the knit along just use a worsted weight cotton. So really any worsted weight cotton that you like to use as a washcloth or dishcloth would be fine. Yeah, so I'm going to show you the March one, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this infinity scarf I have on and one other project. So here we go. So the March cloth pattern is actually a little bit, I diverged a tiny bit and went with a tea towel. So for me, you know, there's so many great characters in Gilmore Girls, and I feel like the town of Stars Hollow itself is a character. So I wanted to recreate the Stars Hollow welcome sign or town sign. So if you remember, the sign sits just outside the gazebo in the center of the square, and there's lots of, on both the sign and the gazebo is a lot of lattice work. So I included lattice work here at the bottom as it is on the sign, and then here in the center the sign itself has white posts and then a blue center, painted center with white writing. So that's what I did here. And with the Stars Hollow and then the founding year of 1779. Then we did a little bit more lattice work, and finally did this little button band, and I used a star for Stars Hollow as my button. All right. So there are some variations in this pattern. So if you knit the pattern as written, you'll end up with this tea towel with the button up here. Now, because there is a lot of stocking knit, I do have the garter on the edge, but it just still wants to curl under on the sides. So I'm going to show you one where I haven't fixed that. So you can see it likes to curl under on the sides. And if you're just hanging this and you're really using it to just wipe your hands, that's fine. But if you're wanting more of a decorative where it lays flat, which is what I wanted, I just heavily starched this and it works perfectly. So that's the first note. And the second note is the Stars Hollow 1779 is stranded. So you do hold both blue and white on the rows. So you have this stranded, here's the back side of the work so you can see how that looks. So you do have that stranded work. The only difference is that because the columns on the side are always white, when you get to the break between the blue and the white on the edges, I just kind of pulled those tight, locked them in place, and then had them ready for the next row. Kind of like you would if you were doing intarsia or something. I know that stranded knitting is not going to be for everybody, so there is an option in the pattern where you could just knit the entire thing out of white, and the center here you would just knit in stockinette stitch. So knit the right side rows, purl the wrong side rows, and then you could go in with, if you're knitting it all in white, or I guess you could knit it all in blue if you wanted, then go in with the opposite color and duplicate stitch on the words Stars Hollow and 1779. I'm so afraid that I'm going to slip up and say Star Wars instead of Stars Hollow. My husband's influence there. Anyway, so if you don't want to do stranded knitting, you could do a duplicate stitch. The other thing, if you didn't want to do this button band, what you could do, and this is also noted in the pattern, you could work the bottom lace work, the center panel, and then you could repeat this lace work that you have at the bottom again up here at the top. And if you did that, it would just be like a flat towel with no button area at the top. It would just be like kind of like a hand towel. So there you have it, and it will be in Ravelry, free on March 1st, 2020, and the name of the pattern is Stars Hollow Tea Towel. For making it as you see it, I used 1 ball of white and 1 ball of light blue in the Lily and Sugar cream cotton yarn. And if you wanted to do the option where you did all white, then you would need 2 balls of the white and then just a bit of your contrast color. Yeah. Now that we've talked about the Stars Hollow tea towel, I thought I would chat a little bit about my for purchase pattern that I'll have coming out in March of 2020. So kind of probably around the 15th. That week's a little bit crazy, so if anything, it'll be a little bit before the 15th, but probably on the 15th. I will have this Waves and Stripes infinity scarf. Waves and Stripes infinity scarf. And I'm going to take it off really fast so you guys can see it long ways. I'm trying to work around my microphone, so. All right, so it's a approximately 60-inch around infinity scarf. It has alternating panels of just stripes with the white and the navy. And then it has these wave panels, which uses it's like a lace chevron technique to get the waves. And it's designed out of Knit Picks Stroll, but really any fingering weight yarn that you wanted to use, you could. I wear a ton of navy and blues in the spring, summer, fall, winter, actually everything. So that's why I went with these colors, but I really like how it feels kind of sort of nautical. So that was another plus and I like to wear it doubled, and it's just nice, especially in the spring. It's really nice because, oops, gosh, I hope I didn't hurt the microphone there. It's nice to just be able to throw it on and along with like a summer sweater or a spring sweater and just go about my day. And then, if you were somewhere along the coast, along the water, whatever, I think it goes really well for that. So anyway, that will be coming out in the middle of March 2020, the Waves and Stripes Infinity Scarf. And it has been released previously. It was in a book for Knit Picks, and the rights have since reverted back to me. So I thought, I'm going to release it as a standalone pattern. I really love it. Out of all the things I've designed, I think I personally wear this one the most. It's just super, super easy to toss on, and I think I might actually knit myself another one out of a different color combo. And really, you could do whatever color combination you wanted. I think it works best with a high contrast between the two colors, but you really could do whatever. So, yeah. All right, and then I had one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, Lorelai is peeking up. You really need a haircut. You look crazy. What are you doing? You crazy girl. You crazy? So in January and February of this year, I spent a lot of time knitting this little baby onesie as a gift for a little newborn, and I loved making this onesie. It was really a lot of fun. I thought the pattern had such great detail with the eyelets and the cables. Can you guys hear that? Lorelai is like chasing a piece of food across the floor behind the camera. Anyway, the pattern itself is a foreign, now she's like chomping it. The pattern itself is a foreign word followed by the words newborn onesie. So I'm just going to put the pattern name up here along with the photo, and the designer's name is Shja, and I just thought this pattern was beautiful. I loved how this onesie turned out, and I was so happy to take it to the new family. And I used Leading Min Fiber Arts Showstopper, and the colorway is Blue Ink. It was such a dynamic color that I went and bought all the rest of the skeins in that color from my local yarn shop so I could use it for a different design later in the year. But it was just really a brilliant blue. The pattern itself, I would say to go on Ravelry and look at other people who note their notes of those knitters who have also made the pattern. There were just a few things here and there that I found it helpful to see what others said, just to kind of make sure I was interpreting it correctly, or if there was a small correction, that kind of thing. I typically have to, well, I used to always, let's put it that way, I always was too loose. I was just a loose knitter. I always had to go down 1 to 2 needle sizes to get gauge. I have tightened up a lot in the last like 5 years, I would say. And for this pattern, I actually had to go up a needle size. I might have even gone up 2. And I made the 0 to 3 month size. And the only other modification I made, I did not, at a certain point, I didn't do the lace work in the groin and booty area because I just kind of got tired and was trying to wrap it up. And I also thought it might, it was going to like wrap around. You weren't really going to see it once it was on the baby anyway. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. I definitely have like a white and blue theme running in this podcast episode. All 3 projects had that going on. So again, I use a lot of blues and whites. It is, if I look out the window here today, we had a snow this week, and I'm really, really ready for spring. So yeah, I want to wear my nautical themed stuff and get out there and enjoy being outside again, but that's not going to happen this week. Not the kind of, I could do it, just not in the kind of weather that I want to do it in. So let's put it that way. Anyway, I hope that you found something interesting in this episode. And like I said, you can always find me online as BrownieKnits. And I hope that you guys will join along in the knit along and knit up a Stars Hollow tea towel. There are several people who have said that they are going to knit up all of the free patterns throughout the year for the cowl, and then give them to someone in their family who's a huge Gilmore Girls fan. And I think that's such a lovely idea. And some months are definitely going to be, I'm going to slam you over the head that it is a Stars Hollow theme. And then other months, like the Rory's Cable Hat cloth, you wouldn't really associate it necessarily with Gilmore Girls unless you watch it and know that she wore that hat quite often. So yeah, all right, well, I'm just babbling at this point, so I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I will see you next month. Bye-bye.